Rare have just released their last Sea of Thieves news video for the year, and during the video they announced a whole host of changes coming to the game to fix a lot of the issues surrounding the PvP game mode for Season 8. Blunderbombs are being nerfed and supplies are being buffed in the update that is confirmed to be coming tomorrow for the scheduled patch on the 15th of December. Hello pirates, my name is Ellie and I post regular Sea of Thieves videos on this channel. If you want to stay up to date with the game, then remember to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I put up a new video. So today Rare have announced all the changes that they're making to the balance of the game for the new PvP on demand mode. And I have to say I'm really impressed with how quickly they have listened and actioned these changes. First up, supplies. The biggest pain point for a lot of players is the supplies and how hard or long it takes to get back into the fight when you're diving a lot. Well, Rare's solution to this comes in a lot of ways. First of all, they are adding to the base supplies when you spawn into Adventure. This is something I suggested in a video last week, and I'm really pleased to see that this is happening. You'll get significantly more cannonballs and wood, and they've also added coconuts to the food barrel alongside bananas. Next up, they have made sure that if you sink in this new mode, you will always respawn at an outpost when you're migrated away. At the moment, you can respawn at islands, and that's not always very helpful, especially if it's a small island with only a couple of barrels. This will make it easier to resupply and to re-raise your emissary or whatever it is you want to do, so that's great. Finally, they've added a really cool feature where the ship that sinks in the battle will now jettison their supply barrels. All wood, food and cannonball barrels and their entire contents will jettison for crews to loot up after a fight. This is an amazing quality of life feature, and I actually can't quite believe they've gone this far. It's going to not only mean that players can resupply really well after a fight, potentially, depending on how many supplies are left, but it also means a lot less of that spawn camping, siphoning situation that seemed to be happening. This change is massive and is likely to make a huge difference to the supply issues in general. Now, the next issue that this mode was facing was the Blunderbomb spam. However, Rare have answered this with a series of fixes and balances. First of all, they have patched the tall-tale exploits that players were using to gather unnecessarily large number of blunderbombs. They're also reducing the amount of blunderbombs that are included in the captaincy supplies purchase and the amount of blunderbombs found around the world. But the biggest change is the reduction to the area of effect that blunderbombs have when fired from a cannon. The current area of effect when fired from a cannon is 10 meters. And this has been reduced down to 5 meters, so literally half the area of effect. This brings blunderbombs shot out of cannons back in line with how things are when they're thrown. They're also significantly reducing the vertical knockback that affects players when they're hit with blunderbombs. This will mean that they are still very viable as weapons, because obviously they do damage, but they will be far less likely to popcorn an entire crew off their ship, something that is a serious issue on brigs at the moment. These changes will no doubt significantly change the meta back to a more balanced naval combat, and I can't wait to experience some fights that don't revolve around who can fire off the first wave of blunderbombs. What do you guys think of these changes? Do you think they've done enough? Let me know down in the comments. Finally, they also mention the various exploits that players have been using to get unbalanced fights by ensuring that opposing crews spawn in the Red Sea. This has been patched and so is no longer something that players can do, so that's good. All in all, these changes are pretty big, and I'm actually very impressed with the speed at which Rare have addressed these issues. I knew they would have to address the issues at some point, but after the matchmaking article yesterday, I honestly didn't think that they would address anything else until next year, so it's really good to see that they're actively listening to the community and doing a great job at implementing changes quickly. All these changes will be coming in tomorrow's patch, which is the 15th of December. And it's also likely going to be when the updates to the new Golden Sands outpost happen. I can't wait to see these changes in game, and I really like that Rare seem committed to the balance patches and making sure that this new mode survives past the initial hype. I'll admit there are still some other changes that need to be brought in, like a bigger incentive to stack loot while you're opted in for PvP, and other things like that, but I'm fairly confident that Rare are listening now and actively pursuing options after this update. Other news that was mentioned was just a recap of the Festival of Giving Switch On event that's going to be on their live stream on Twitch, the Pirate Emporium sale, and of course the Grogbonet event. But the headline news was definitely the changes to supplies and blunderbombs. That's it for this video. If you missed my video yesterday about matchmaking changes, then make sure you check that one out after this. If you like this video, then please do leave a like and subscribe for more Sea of Thieves content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the seas.